Oh yeah, yes. Yo, you don't stop. Big John come rocking the short shot. Welcome back. Fastest freaking show in MLB, absolutely anywhere. Oh, with your boy, with your fucking boy. Big Johnny Stud, yo. Coming out the chair as always. What's going on, mi gente? I was gonna keep it to myself, B Rose. Up in the comment section. Appreciate you, homie. Wishing me a happy birthday. Yay! I have no idea how Brian knows or remembered that, but yes, my birthday is Earth Day. I was born with the rhyme. I'm a poet, didn't even know it. Follow me up on Twitter at John Legaza Flow, shopping on the damn razor. Same handle over on Substack. We're $2 a week. Makes all your dreams come true. Yo, support the fucking birthday boy. Help me keep the damn lights on, hot wife happy, and my beautiful kids fed. All right, enough of that shit. Right? I'm tired of this stuff. My brain has always been weird with numbers and dates, and you're in it. That's awesome, Brian. Like, dude, you're the man. That's crazy. All right, this is a madness.
This is Sparta!
Damn right. Started up as always the best part of waking up. World famous pitching sheets in the mug.com. Let's go get it. 15 games today. We're split 6 and 9. 6 early, 9 late. We're always going to start with the PM stuff, keeping the commuter crowd in mind. And then we'll circle back for the afternoon stuff. If you're listening early, you'll probably make it to the end. I was going to wait to say it was my birthday, but fuck it. Way to go, Brian. Man, I appreciate that. Old dog. Although, quick, funny story about me. My wife's birthday is tomorrow. So I've never had a birthday. You know what I mean? Like, we used to like do like a shared thing, and then like mine just disappeared. Although she is the fucking coolest, man. Can't front. First up, it's the Cheesemakers. Chad Patrick, 2 first names on the bump, plus 113 dog down in Detroit Rock City to face Casey Mize and the Tigres, minus 136 at the crib. Patrick probably a little bit better than people give him credit for. Mize always had the pedigree, was more of a kind of wily kind of command control guy. Now he's starting to get a little bit of swing and miss, right? Again, always getting ahead, introducing some chases and some in-zone wins. I think there's a little bit of a ceiling for Mize. Patrick towing the line a little bit more, relying on a good four-seamer to work up in the zone and not get taken out the yard. He has had some struggles with lefties, which is going to get you in trouble against the Tigers. This season, though, both off the fantastic start. Again, Patrick is a good pitcher. He's one of those guys that we mentioned where you get LOL'd until you actually maybe do some of the work, nuance and context, pouring out your damn nose. I'm like, what did I forget? It's the timer. Give me a second. We set up my timer. Even though I've kind of, not say thrown it out the window, you know, instead of maybe keep the train from completely derailing. So I think we've got better pitching here than maybe expected. And I was looking for the 4.5, and it is a 4.5, so maybe not to bury the lead. I think that's where we're going, right? Neither offense has really been too impressive. As I flip around, when I'm citing right-handed stuff, I've got something wrong. Shite. Maybe it's the game. Always fucking up, man. No, Milwaukee, Detroit is in the afternoon. Then I have my stuff numbered wrong. Oh my God, I'm in full on collapse right here. Hold on just 1 second, everybody. I'm gonna get the bitch on the track. Give me 1 second. I'm not sure what the hell I did. You know what happens? It's from doing it last night. Okay, these numbers are correct. Hold on just a second. We're gonna be jamming in a second here. Oh my gosh, I'm the biggest fucking idiot sometimes. You know, you number these things to try and balance all this stuff for everybody. Yeah. No. Oh my God. Shite. All right, one more whack at this fucking thing. Oh, here we go. Oh, yeah. What a fucking Momo. Okay, here we go. We're going to be rocking and rolling in 1 second, I hope. No, maybe not. Oh, shit. What do I do? All right, one more second. Oh my gosh, this is the worst radio ever. After yesterday, I like promised myself I wasn't gonna mess up. I could have swore I just saw the order correct. See, yeah, this should be right. I don't understand. 2811. Oh, come on, you fat ass. Oh, okay, I got it. I got it. I got it. Okay, we're back. We're back. We're back. Oh my gosh, that was just the worst 90 seconds of my career. If it means anything to you, my heart is fucking palpitating out of my damn chest. I just I messed something up again, moving stuff over last night. I messed up the game order. I'll go figure. Of course, fucking Arizona was number 28. That must have just triggered me in the first spot that the number was correct. Okay, and we're off. We're going to be off and running right now. I noticed they were in the wrong spot. So again, Milwaukee and Detroit, not too impressive verse on the offensive side. What I was laying out is when I'm speaking about teams, when I go left-handed, we're going to default to year-to-date. You can see Detroit labeled in red. They've got lefties again. I just can't apologize enough for that. It was really kind of pathetic. And 2 weeks, we're going to go righties. So if I'm not always saying that, that's generally what it is, unless we clarify any further. Again, these offenses are just not any good. It's been so brutal for them. Yeah, and I have the lefty and righty stuff wrong because Patrick is a righty. So I'm going to just wipe this stuff for right now. And I kind of know them. I'll clean it up. There was data issues this morning with StatCast. Everything was behind. I just rushed to get all the numbers out, all offensive numbers. All the numbers are correct. My personal formatting stuff was a little bit off, but again, no worries. So the righty stuff, again, is a little bit brutal for these teams. The Brewers in particular, they got out of the box really hot. And, oh my God, I swear I'm going to drown. Can we restart? I have to go back in time. But that's live TV. So Detroit, you got to give them the edge right against the righties. But it's been kind of brutal. Some of the things we were expecting, I thought we were going to be getting like lots of power. Even getting on base and drawing walks hasn't been the case. So I think you definitely have to give Detroit the nod. Problem, standing in the way is going to be Patrick himself. Again, he's been so good. I think I like him through 5. And I think that 4.5 is a little bit too high. We don't get too many of these where I'm really feeling like we're going to close this one at 4. All right. Happy birthdays up in the comments. Thank you so much. Underwater Trades. Bright Elfring. Everybody, appreciate you all. Yo, this is so good. This is so good. Underwater Trades. It starts to go with age. Oh my gosh. And just like that, you go and totally redeem yourself. Jason, good morning as well. Appreciate everybody. Yeah, word. Actually, that's so funny. That's just that's the fucking perfect cherry on top. I won't beat myself up anymore. That is so funny. It's true. It's perfect, man. Yeah, I think I like the under 4.5. I'm kicking myself. I really did all this. I do all this stuff the night before. Why did you do it the night before? To avoid this fucking nightmare, man. Now 2 days in a row. Just an absolute disaster. Walking disaster, demolition, baby. All right, so give me Milwaukee and Detroit. F5, you 4.5. Unless you feel like this bet is totally mushed, right? We don't want nothing to do with this game. Let's get back on track. My goodness, man. Appreciate you. Jason, that's super sweet, man. I got to get that up. Happy birthday. Appreciate you. Thanks for all you do. You show me more than you know. Honestly, it's like, that stuff really, really means the world to me. It means so much to me. All right, let's blow it back up and get the bitch back on the rails. What a disaster, right? I swear, if you're new here, the show is usually good. The Bravos on the bump. Martin Perez, the withered husk, still doing his thing. Minus 150 favorite against Zach Littell and the Nats. Holy crap, what is going on? Nats ATM, right? The team total strikes again. Holy crap. You can't fucking lose with the Nats right now. And meanwhile, the market is buying Martin Perez now. Again, back on track. The matchup board is 25 and 26 because that has the splits, and I think we want the bigger sample. I've also provided a 2026 only. That's everything but the splits. to give us an idea of if we're believing it or not, right? At first, it was just the basics to give you the hint, a start or two. Now we're through, 5 starts or whatever, 4 starts, and we want a little bit more. Soon we'll make the changeover. I'll leave the 2025 only. So the reason I mention that is Perez, like it's not great. Like the surface stuff is strong, 221, 0.93 ERA whip combo. But like, that ain't really it. I'm afraid to swear. I don't remember if I did this one or not. Oh yeah, this one is correct. So, the velo is poor. There's no swing and miss. He's kind of pitching to contact. He's got by on BABIP. Perez is not really blowing anybody away. I think this comes down to more the offense v lefties. Washington's been excellent. I mean, in general, their best split is against lefties, and for some reason, they've got the 3.5 team total, if I'm not mistaken. I use Wager Talk this morning, so I just like to be very clear. I never like to cite stuff or put lines unless I physically see it on a book, right? A thing that can be played. A lot of these sites, BetStamp, OddsTrader, they do nice work. I don't know if I necessarily believe it 1,000,000%, because I feel like I have seen examples on some of them. I'm not calling anybody out where I've tried to click through and it wasn't live. That said, I just can't get this stuff right now. Everything I have is completely locked when I start streaming. Like I can't go looking for stuff. But if the Nats are 3.5, you gotta want that. Braves bullpen has been really good, no question. But again, the Nats, it's doubles, it's everything. Plus they run. I mean, they've just been a nightmare when the lefties are hitting lefties. Braves offense has been really good. They should get to Littell also. So I guess maybe I'm digging an over. This total's at 9. I'm smack at the 9. I have this one full in a bunch of like 5-4s, which, makes perfect sense. And that which would get them both home probably. But it would get us flat on the team total. Flat on the game total, which is really a bitch, right? Both teams can individually clear their line and the game total is flat. Like that kind of sucks. So that makes me want to pick one. If I had to pick one, it'd probably actually be the Braves, right? Because the Nats bullpen is so bad. Littell is a freaking trash can. Yeah, I like scoring here. Give me something. I mean, I maybe mark them both. Because if the Atlanta team total is baseline -110, -115, we want that. See, maybe for right now, I'm just going to put the 09. I'm not making bets right now. These are just my show pick stuff. This goes up. Okay, quick note. I get a lot of these questions all the time. I forget because I'll mention something once and assume everybody follows every single thing. If you're subscribed, don't wait for emails. Data, and the reason why you don't need the email is you could set your fucking watch by me. By 8:10, I say 8:30 just to give me a little bit of wiggle for tech problems. A lot of times it's much earlier. Data starts going up oftentimes, pitching the night before, all the other stuff by like 6 a.m. It's all done by 8 show picks, the picks we come up with through analysis on the show. I generally devise my live ticket from those, so I don't play everything. The show tickets are a hit. People love it. They love to base their own stuff off it, whether they're playing it or not. Everyone understands what it is. Those go up right after I get off air. If I forget, give me a fucking nudge, man. I got to publish this shit. Then I have to edit it for podcast, put that out and fucking promote it while I'm doing other shit. So don't be afraid. You're never a bother, but also don't wait on my command. The email is the live ticket, right? If we're putting up bets that are going on record, that you get notification for so everyone can get correct pricing, right? I fucking care. But the show pick stuff goes up immediately. Don't wait for that at all. Same with, the total bases and the HRRs, that stuff is up. Jason's going to be working on some like a parlay of the day for us for at least like a month. We want to run a trial. Jay, I love that we had some overlap and you hit those. So yeah, just do your thing. I'm working on my own process. Like, I find myself always going with the away team because you get the extra frame, but like that's not necessarily it. Maybe we want the higher team totals, whatever. I also made a slight adjustment to it today. You may notice, I noticed I wasn't properly valuing lineup placement because lineup placement directly correlated to run scoring, right? As we moved away from 2 total bases and towards HRR, there's just a slight, right? You need a slight adjusting towards that. And, guys at the top like Xavier Edwards is an HRR fucking god. Anyway, that's my TED Talk. I don't know. Next up, Max fried eggs on the bump for the New York Yankees. -143. Dogs down in Fenway to face Power Ranger Suarez and the fucking Red Laundry. I bet on my guy early yesterday, and the Red Sox just won't score. Hill was not even that good. I mean, listen, he was okay. He was not that good. I'm a Yankees fan. He was not that good. He's wild as always, putting guys on. They just suck. The Red Sox suck. It's really frustrating. The bubbles. I don't know how often you're going to sit Jarren Duran, trade him. He's worth something. So right now you're just not really looking for offense, but whenever the Yankees are in town, you got to be careful. That's always the bugaboo when you go against the Bombers. Lopez up there. What do you think, Nick Martinez revenge game? I think we're going to get to the race. And Just Lime, yo, what's going on, player? Appreciate everybody dropping in and the comments. That stuff matters more than it should. Yeah, I don't think I'm looking to go under an F5-4 for the Yanks. I think I'm not saying you can't go under in a Yankee game. I think it's misplaced if you're not getting a good price. And this is another spot where you probably want the Red Sox. I mean, it's a better price than yesterday. Max Fried, a much tougher customer than Hill. Fried coming off a rough start of his own. But if I'm not mistaken, yeah, he's pretty much shoving. He's doing Max Fried things. You're not going to get a ton of swing and miss. Once he starts getting ahead of guys, which he normally does, he's going to take off. Plus the left on base rate, his nosedive. Max Fried is an ace. He's going to be fine. Suarez, I think, is fantastic, right? He started out a little iffy, somewhat per inning basis. The guy is excellent. And the type of guy that can get to the Yankees, strike thrower, no free passes, keeping it down. They're also really fucking slow. They'll hit into a lot of double plays. Right? Can we bet a Giancarlo Stanton double play today? That's, I joke about that. I think I bet those at one point. Yo, appreciate it. Jeff L., happy birthday, hug. Yo, thanks, Oos. Yo, Jeff, I appreciate you, man. You really you're the man. You know what I mean? You don't have to do all the nice stuff that you do. Kind of taking time out to always support on social media. I see that stuff. And it means a lot. Same for you, Jay. You guys support the work constantly, and I feel like I can't reciprocate enough. I'm so fucking busy, but I want everybody to know, if you're in this comment section, yo, mi gente, one of us, capo status, and if I can ever help you, even outside of this thing of ours, yo, man, holler at me. So I think Yankees and Boston, it's, you grab your nuts and go for the Boston F5, or not. Again, under on the Yankees are really iffy. If you manage to find a good price on a 4.5, you have my blessing. But right now, that ain't it, Chief. Okay, next up, the Twinks promoted Kendry Rojas. I know a lot of us thought we might get the Zebby Matthews show. That was not the case. He's having a rough go in the minors. Now, Rojas was brutal last year, if I'm not mistaken. But his AAA stuff this year was kind of glistening. I'm not a prospector. I don't pretend to be. I box score watch these guys, then go to experts in the field for backup. But at this age, they just may have fixed something, 23-year-old lefty. He is a starter, though, right? So it's not like an opening situation, though I think his workload this year may have been low. Anyway, he was through 7 1/3 scoreless, and I guess that earned them the promotion. They're stretching him. He went 1 1/3, 2 2/3, 3 1/3. Again, all scoreless, at least 2 strikeouts in each. So maybe you're going to get a time through the order. These things are hard to handicap with so much uncertainty. He is facing the Let's Go Mets Go. Mets versus lefties, really rough split. Elevation coming along. They've got a handful of barrels, but nothing else is there because they're chasing out of the zone, right? You got to be careful. when we use our terminology, right, the lingo that you get when you hang with the Cork Stats group, gosh, the lack of perfect data is driving me nuts as an OCD. Remember, like within, it's not a sellout thing, right? When you see power with strikeouts, it's not necessarily sellout. Sellout is no chase, right? Sellout is in zone all or none. When you start waving 35% of the time, it's none or none, right? That's too much of a floor on top of the baked in, poor average, poor OBP, poor OPS. Mets have a 585 OPS v lefties on the season. Just freaking brutal. Now, Twins offense has been really good. Nice surprise. Man, I can't remember if Royce Lewis is going to be back today or coming back. Either way, they've been good regardless. Clay Holmes looking really good this year. Elite command and control, even forcing some chases, which is a new addition, plus all the ground balls. So he's been really good. Twins v righties last 2 weeks, 466 plate appearances. Sorry, that's overall. V righties, 247 PAs. They've actually fallen off a little bit. Overly patient, not chasing, which we like. Doing a bit with it. This is like sellout light, right? Too many strikeouts with no chases. A little bit too passive, right? Too much passivity. But a decent lift, lots of pull and barrels. That's where the home runs are coming from. Holmes, not much of a home run guy. A lot of mixed signals in this one. Bullpens have both been total ass. This total set at 8. My model's right at 8. So to me, I'm kind of leaning over with all the signals, meaning lack of distance from Rojas gets you mid bullpen Twins. And right to Shite. Bullpens with model scores close to 4, hoping for a 4 + 4 = 9, right? It sounds stupid, but that being our favorite, I used to joke that's my favorite math equation, doing overs. The thing we also love about the flat 8 at a nice price without overpaying for the flat 8 is then you get all those other iterations that get you there, right? The 5-3, rookie debut blow up. Be careful chasing these guys in debuts. I never do. If he goes out and gives you a solid 5, maybe you're dealing with a legitimate starter and we can kind of adjust accordingly. But until then, that shit's always a worry for me. Like, where are those innings coming from? Again, a guy that just threw 3 1/3 of the minors, you can't be expecting 6 innings. And I don't know, we're going to get like Andrew Morris or something like that. He has an 8 1/4 ERA this year. He's their long reliever. So all that to say, I think we're going to go. I'm going to go over that 8 on the show pick. Because it's baseline, but that also means always make sure to look for the 7.5. Again, if you're parlaying, which I don't always recommend, though I've been doing it myself because my second combine is fucking shot. I was trying to work my way out of it. Who sold? Everybody fucking sold us. We've been terrible in bullpens, and I feel like I'm getting punished for. I was always an F5 better, and lately I've been like, oh, maybe I want to F full game and get more sample. And where's that gone? Yeah, in the fucking toilet. Okay, this one we're gonna have to pump the brakes on. I had Taijuan Walker going for the Phillies against Matty Boyd and the Baby Bears in Wrigley -175 for the home squad. I think Taijuan Walker may have come down, if I'm not mistaken. Let me look really quick. I thought I saw him come down. Yeah, I got Kyle Backus, but he's a reliever and a lefty. So a lot of times what we see are managers trying to neutralize the first inning. So I guess the assumption is if he gets a clean first, maybe Backus comes out for the second to turn Hap. Maybe they're just trying to get away from Walker because it's really just been Bush in the front third. Generally, you see it for a team like the Phillies where you have Schwarber and Harper up top. You're looking to get an impact lefty to get them out of the way and then have your right-handed starter kind of eat up some bulk, maybe get him out before their third time. So I've got Cubs winning, it's juice to the balls. I think we may have to pump brakes again on the Cubs offense. Just not getting Walker has to change projections. We could get him and still get there, but the Cubbies are still at the 4.5 total. Jeff says, first year of expansion, dynasty, including minor prospects. Rojas, my first prospect to make the jump. Yeah, we love that feeling. But also now, see, you just knowing that kind of validates like this guy might be good, right? So for us valuing your opinion and the work we do, like, I think like, oh, maybe he's okay. B. Rose says, Phil's finally going opener since Taiwan is free money. Yeah, no shit. So now we have to be careful. Still expecting to get rocked whenever he does come in. Boyd the lefty also. I wonder, maybe we like the I'm not that guy normally, but like maybe we like the nerf. The total twist around though. Boyd is Boyd in the return spot also? Again, I apply that universally. I just don't back guys that are in return spots. You know, and if he's like a legitimate starter, even with a track record, we'll get him next time. I just always worry about workload and then command and control when they first get out there. Right. You're right. Boyd hasn't pitched since the first. So, no, I'm out. That makes me like the over a smidge more again. But if I'm not mistaken, the bullpen's been really damn good. Cubs in particular have been excellent, like kind of out of nowhere. More injuries they've had, better they've gotten. And Phillies haven't completely fallen apart without Duran. So, I think I'm leaning over. I wish it was an 8 and not an 8.5. I'm kind of making the sour face, and I think just moving on. My boy Braxton Ashcraft on the road for the Pirates, minus 110. Yeah, both ways against Jack Torchlighter and the Rangers, two of my guys here. So Pittsburgh sold this yesterday. My guy Machinsky didn't get it done. Texas offense came through, but they also just lost Wyatt Langford. Even if he's not totally wrecked, he's not going to be playing today. Rangers with the offensive edge last 2 weeks. I'm sorry, I was getting that up on the board. Pirates are not bad. That's why we were backing them. Model still likes the Pirates. The discipline is there. They're getting on, winning in zone. You get barrels. I think the Pirates kind of bounce back. But, man, Leiter's been tough. I think Leiter is also in a bounce-back spot. Last 172 innings, 398, 130 ERA, whip combo. Indicators, really not so strong. So the approach stuff definitely improving this year. Again, he's walking too many hitters without a bad ball rate. Generally, 37 ball is not 10 walk. It kind of just goes to show you, one, you see the low first strike, so he's starting at a disadvantage. And then two, this confidence from these guys, I don't want to say it's misplaced. He's throwing fucking 97. He's got a good four-seamer, but, like, we'd like to see them maybe challenge in zone a little bit more. Stop being a little so cute and trying to nibble with 3 balls. So the luck stuff's been a little whack for Leiter. 340 BABIP, 75 left on base, 14.5 homer fly ball, is rough. And Ashcraft looks like legitimate kind of star, where Ashcraft is kind of pitching the way I hoped Bubba Chandler was going to be pitching. Now, they both might get there. But Ashcraft looks like legitimately good. Maybe Texas busted that load. And both bullpens have been good. So I think I'm under here both directions. I like Pittsburgh to come back and win. But I also like the under. So I don't always do this. But I think I'd have 2 plays. So I think I have Pittsburgh money line minus 110 to get Ashcraft. And then I have Pitt, Texas, F5, U 4.5. A little surprised that one is 4.5. Let me just double check. I hate fucking misleading. Yeah, it's minus 4.5 though, right? The thing we're always looking for. Context. The price on the under is creeping to that minus 120, which means the next step is the actual line move itself. Next up, Texas Ranger Walker Buehler on the bump for the Padres. Minus 163, heavy favorite on the road in Colorado against Tomoyuki Sagano. Hold on, this one needs some close-up. Could you feel like more than an ass than I do? I mean, forget like the just absurd production mistakes. Today somehow being worse than yesterday's. And the rant about Colorado. Now again, half of it is tongue-in-cheek. Every so often you get these in Colorado, which is why you don't do the pitching analysis and you don't blindly bet overs. What was yesterday's game? 1-0. So funny. After I went off about how you can most certainly, right? Like most certainly pair 4 legs on drafters for a 10-1. Now, funny enough, there may have been a few winning combinations, but like let's be honest, right? If you had the singles, because there were single plays. But holy crap. Now, all that said, none of that changes the individual nature of these events, right? The independent nature, I should say. What happened yesterday doesn't matter today. What happened yesterday, certainly, right, above all else, does not make Coors a pitcher's park, right? So you just kind of go back to the well. You know, that it just is that, like, it is what it is, man. You know, it is what it is. Let me bring up drafters really quick and see what today's looks like. So really quick, we got Buehler and Sagano. You know, Buehler is starting to put together a nice season. He's been pretty good. And the ERA has just really suffered from left on base. Everything else has been great. He's getting the cool stuff over, getting ahead. Great KBB. Sagano kind of crushed. Again, just too much contact, not able to get it past guys at all. So he's going to suffer from that pretty constantly. And, you know, San Diego kind of, funny, I was going to say making good contact. Again, me using narratives. And that will get you in trouble. Zone contact on the season for the Padres, 86. Okay, which is not bad. But the last 2 weeks versus righties, it is really bad. Though not striking out, they're swinging strikers through the roof. Their in-zone stuff is terrible. The pull rate is terrible. But they are getting barrels and they're pulling the ball, which should be enough to get Sagano. All right, hold on, it's up. Let's see. There's got to be something we like here. Just for perspective's sake, if anyone is curious, it is zoomed out on the image. But if you look up, right, we have a hitter section with the 2 hit-run ribbies, if you're into that thing, and then base hit stuff. So I've got just names. I've got Julien, Johnston, Tatis, and Bogaerts. Now, because they don't disproportionately price on drafters, everything is just a fair pair, right? Any 3 picks is a times 6, then times 10, 20, 35, 65. You can go up max 8, gets you to 100. And I've hit quite a few of those in my day. All right, let's see who's on the list here. Okay. Edouard Julien, but it's run and a single, 1-1. So, you know, it's tough to nail that one. Goodman has the same. Monique has the same plus bases. Tovar just singles. McCarthy single. HRR. Same for Caro. Same for Johnston. We like those. I like the Karras HRR. I like the Doyle HRR. I like the hit run ribbies. Just in general, I think those are great plays in Colorado. Now, who do we say? I mean, Bogaerts is there. It's 3 HRR or 2 total bases. Tatis is 3 HRR. So you see, like they do push and pull a little bit, but like you got to look for the HRR guys. Manny's at 3. Merrill's at 3. Doesn't mean they won't get there. This game has a fucking 12 total. But it's a really kind of cool angle. Jeff said that we may see pre-lip. Yeah, my guy Jake said that. But then I saw Rojas on multiple spots. And then when I see it on a book, that's when I feel confident. To be honest, I don't know how much a model is going to change because a lot of it is very much regress to mean, regress to debuts. But thank you so much. You know, I appreciate it. I really do love the up-to-date stuff. But that's just a little bit of lesson for everybody. What if it's this guy? If it's also a debut, like, I don't know if it matters much. And Rojas has been so damn good. Like, doesn't get any lower than a 0 ERA, so I already had to bake in all types of shit. Right? You can't plug a 0 into a model; you're going to get a ridiculous result. So all that we're able to bullshit during Padre and Rockies analysis because it's ridiculous. It's 6.5 and 12. Even I was double pinching the anus of the model, and I still could only get it to 11.2. Padres are the heavy favorite, so you do get the implication of the bottom of the ninth. Whatever. I have the Rockies for a win for what that's worth. But whenever the Rockies are only a plus 135, that basically means it's like a coin flip. Everybody, like people in the know, understand how variant this is. So I don't know. At 12, like I mentioned yesterday, 12 is when I start to think about the under. Yesterday's touch 12. I don't know. You know why it's 12. People are LOLing Bueller and LOLing Sagano. They've both taken steps forward, and both of the offenses are flawed. It's very easy to see how you don't get there. How do you get there? Course. Next up, every gift begins with Anthony K. Pale hose on the bump plus 130 dog down in the desert to face E-Rod and the snakes with shapes on their back. How do you like that for a new nickname? Let's go. K, another freaking import and spring training darling that people fell for, and it's been kind of ugly. 2.6 ERA, but the Sierra at 6.8, expected ERA north of 5, my indicator north of 5 as well. KBB in the single digits, no swing and strike, 90 zone contact, and he's not putting it past people. He has good velo, but that oftentimes is not enough. But bad stuff plus implies either poor extension, poor spin. I don't know off the top of my head. Poor movement. He's not been good. And he's challenging guys in, which might be something that you're able to get away with overseas, which doesn't play here. I think the ERA is a fugazi. I might say the same thing for E-Rod, who we've seen topside production from, right? And at least back in the day, he's given us very strong full seasons. Right now, I think he's pitching way over his skis. 5 expected for a 2 ERA, 5 KBB, and a 7 swinging strike. This is generally exactly what we look for in terms of regression. 87 left on base. So this is like a, thanks but no thanks. Both of these pitchers are left-handed. So let's go year to date. Again, I'll get the team stuff, all this stuff sorted out, I promise, very first thing, even before I produce. Offenses v. lefties. White Sox, it's when they've done their damage, but they're still kind of a disaster. But E-Rod's not really putting people away. And it's not as if they're chasing much or that's a strength of his. So if he's going to be in zone, challenging in, I think you're going to get all the extra base stuff from the Sox. Flip side, pretty much the same story. Though D-backs much better discipline, winning in zone with tons of line drives, I think K is going to get F in the A. Oh! The alphabet song making a fucking appearance. As far as the bullpens go, White Sox have been a disaster. Arizona, okay, I don't want to be like, they're the best bullpen in the majors. They've pitched like one, and they're easily one of, if not the biggest surprises. Sorry, I just realized my fat head was blocking that. I scrolled up so you could see the just wild disparity, right? White Sox terrible last 2 weeks and full season. Diamondbacks awesome pretty much across the board. Getting better as we go. I don't know if that's enough to push me off and over because this one could be over early. Total at 9.5 feels high. Midel not buying it. Oh, I was waiting for the roof. If the roof is open, we're probably going to get. I'm not going to get 3/4 of a run, just to be honest. But we might get close to that. Arizona's team total is probably the cleaner play. That's what I'm going to put for right now. And if you're a both team to score or an alt total better, I think Arizona is the one I like. The worry, of course, is either that it goes up to 5 where I'm not interested, or, the heavy favorite at home losing the 9th. But if you, right, the counter argument to that is, well, if you're not If you're winning, you scored, right? So, right, that's objective truth. The problem is it could be 1-zip. However, right, but the game totals are 5 and 9.5 for a reason. The book is not gospel, but it is good information. All right, last but not least at the nightcap, Shohei Ohtani and the Dodgers, minus 207 favorite on the road against Tyler Mahle and the Giants. Hold on, big nose incoming. I'm eye-rolling the shit out of myself. What happened to my fucking confidence, John? What happened to you? I said it yesterday. These are the games that the Giants would win. These are the games. Played out exactly like that. Hey, yo, man. Gotta believe in yourself, man. Gotta. I deserve to get booed off the stage. You know, that to me, that's more egregious than a production mistake. The production mistake, at least if you saw how much fucking work I was doing, it's mind-blowing. I'm ever able to fucking get the plane in the air. For real. That was unacceptable. That was unacceptable. I pussied out. And you know why? Because the fucking Yankees. Because I bet against the Yankees the last 2 times in a row, they fucking served us and swerved us. And I started getting, I don't like to challenge these elite teams because when they beat you down, you fucking get what you get and you don't get upset. Meanwhile, I was kind of putting the cart before the horse on early because I like him more than he's shown us. Where Roop has been filthy, the market's not on him. That's the good price and the trajectory we're targeting. So, like, fuck me. Who the fuck is that? All right, so Ohtani, a goat, and Mahle's been kind of shit. This one, I think, is the Dodger run line cover. That has that kind of feel. Dodgers run line cover minus 135. That's what I'm putting because they're at home. In a bounce back spot off a loss. Feels like a little bit too easy. Mahle, who I used to love on a per inning basis. Let's check the underpinning stuff really quick. 7.23 ERA, 193 whip is gross. 14 walk, 40 ball, 52 first strike. It's been really, really gross. Force feeding a bad fastball, to the Dodgers is going to get you yoked. So it's Dodgers team total, but is it 10? Who knows? Obviously, it's not 10, but it might be 5, it might be 6, it might be 5.5. So I got Dodgers run line cover, which is really kind of a gross outcome. But you get what you get, and you don't get upset. All right, that'll do it for the PM stuff. I'm going to scroll up. We'll do a board read for the top before we get out of here. Punch the clock. I was curious if my bookie had their F5 up. Oh, they do? Okay, because I want to build. All right, let's see if we can build a little afternoon parlay. Here we go. Skyrockets in flight. Kyle Leahy on the bump for the Cardinals. They're going against Jansen Junkballer. Cardinals have the beat-up bullpen and the winds blowing in. So I'm under the 4.5, but I think the play I like is the Miami win. That's what I'm putting. I'm going to go Miami full game win. I think we have the offensive edge. Cardinals coming back to earth. Walker was never going to hit 75 home runs, so I do think he's good. And I do think Weatherholt is good. I also think Herrera is okay. I think the back end might have been a little fugazi when they were getting production fucking 1 through 9. Again, I think the difference will be the bullpens here. Not a huge fan of the Cardinals' pen. I think Leahy going to get outpitched by Junk. I think Miami has the 3-phase edge. Next up, Brandon Williamson on the bump for the Redlegs. 113 dog against my boy Nicky Martinez, Sticky Nicky, and the flat fucking fish of Florida. Model's got a pretty clean win in each direction. Reds offense has kind of been gross. Really hard to back. That's the hardest thing there. You got to love Sal Stewart. I mean, like, he should be. I haven't looked at the odds. He's got to be a runaway for a fucking rookie of the year right now. But that's been about it. Ellie had the monster game yesterday, but they feel really top heavy. Not like the Rays offense is any better. And Williamson, if I'm not mistaken, did he put together a good start last time out? but he's been gross overall. I think that might have been spring training hype. Sorry, I'm going to just leave the algo board. So I'm going to stick with the algo. I've got the Rays for a win, not necessarily fair line on the model, but I think if you're adding the 20 necessary cents on the public home game favorite, I think it's good. So here I am back on these full games, but that's okay. So right now I've got Miami, all the Florida Fish, all the aquatic Floridians. Peter Lambert on the bump for Houston. They're on the road against Cleatown. And Tanner Bybee. Houston offense is too good for me to back Bybee. And though the Cleveland bullpen's been like freaking lights out, I still think Houston will get us there. Their bullpen's hanging by a thread right now, if I'm not mistaken. And I think Lambert might get smoked. I was surprised that this total was at a flat 8. I'm expecting it to close at 8.5. I'm over the total and moving it on. It's the Basset Hound. Woo! And the Orioles. They're on the road against Michael Waka Flocka and the Royals with Cheese. Both team with the bullpen emoji and the wind blowing out. So I think this one is 0-9 or nothing. If you're parlaying, I'm just going to, like, this is an example of when I pay juice for totals. If you're parlaying and you kind of already determined that, then I'm going to pay the juice to get the 8.5. Wait, what? I'm only seeing alts on 9 and 10, which is a little bit of a kick in the nards. Nards. Oh, line is not. Excuse me. Line is 9.5. I missed that, you motherfuckers. You damn, all you damn Substack subscribers picked up on that. I missed how far off we were from the line. I should have been on that. So that's over. I don't know if I want to go over 9.5. I guess then I would still probably apply the same thing, and I guess I'm going over the 9. And like, if anything, all right, it's only minus 125. My bookie's got very good lines this season. Hit me up for a referral. We both get some shit. I generally don't pay juice on totals. They're hard enough. But in this case, where that could sink the ship, I'll give you the 15 cents to keep the ship afloat for the push, to keep it going. Right? That's one of the few places you'll hear me recommend that stuff. Next, Eric Lauer and the Bluebirds. They've got the bullpen emoji as well. He was kind of bitching and moaning a little bit about following. I guess they gave him what he wanted. He's going up against LA and the Angels. Soriano's been fantastic. Angels strong split versus lefties. Again, I don't agree with the price, but like, this is a show parlay, and I gotta get the pick. So like, gosh, don't string me up for this one, because it's a minus 160 on the fucking Angels, and like, to me, that's patently fucking absurd. It's really nuts, really, really nuts. I think if you had to peg me to a straight play, I'd probably prefer the plus money on the run line. Because if this fails, it fails bad, right? Lauer continues to stink. The Angels get hits in bunches as home runs, and Toronto ends up behind, not pushing an already taxed bullpen and letting it run. Quick lesson, Jason. This is what I was talking about to Jason and Jeff, and really anybody else that was playing the daily specials. I think the mistake we were making, I was alluding to this a little bit the other day, is the highest implied team total doesn't necessarily speak to the highest spike score. Now, of course, there are going to be times where they align. Absolutely. But not always. This would be an example, right? This would be an example of that. LA has a middling score, right? I could tell from the shading that 422 is middling. However, the cooked bullpen emoji is a pathway to the highest score. And it's exactly what I had just mentioned. A pitcher either gets touched up, torched, or pulled early Or again, it's that mentality of sometimes a team is behind 2 through 5. So they're not surrendering, but they know the writing's on the wall. Top guys are hanging by, you're not trying to use them unless it's a fucking must win thing. You're not going to be putting them in when you're behind. So you put in the D squad, down 2 suddenly turns into down 4. Now you have the green light to run them out all the way, right? To just kind of sacrifice it. And that's how you run in the back end, right? Oftentimes a daily team total is a bullpen that gave up 5. And the implied team total is going to have a stress on the front end, right? The more predictable, more modelable 5 innings from the starter. So not to say like Cook bullpen equals highest score, but that pathway is something that I really was not calculating. I got to take the fucking Elsky, man. It's a difference between highest mean, which also aligns, and then like the outlier, right? Again, this one really this smells like it. I want to get something down. Someone do me a favor. Check the highest score. Angels price, please. Let's get back into it. So I'm going to go, Angels win. I think Angels, you know what? It might even be Angels team total. Let me click it through. Again, I was not kidding about how bad I think the Angels 160 price is. I legit think that's just a terrible, terrible price. And you can get Angels 4.5 even. Now, could I interest you in a Angels over 3.5 at the same cost as the money line? And that, I think I prefer that. Right? It's a cleaner model play. And we're eliminating some variance. Don't worry, I'm going to read all these back at the end. A nice little rocket ship going on. And then last but not least, Aaron Savale and the Atleticos. They're on the bump against Logan Gilbert and the M's. I think this is just a big bounce back spot. If you're not parlaying, you're probably playing the Seattle run line. If you are parlaying, you're probably going with Seattle. Again, I just think it's bounce back. They dropped it yesterday. Gilbert is just an order of magnitude better than Savale, who I'm not even sure I'm really buying in the first place. He's been serviceable, but I flipped over. You could see that disciplinary shit is gross. If you're falling behind, not inducing chases, missing the zone without whiffs, like how long is that going to last? Again, hat tip to the fucking tools, man. You know what? Put a little birthday bell. That's the beauty of the sheets and the tools. Clicking something and in fucking 3 seconds having a fully formed, data-backed opinion on it. Yes, I'm going to be corny, and whatever. I'm not saying it's parlay filler, but I don't want to be, overly risky. So I've got a plus 22.33 parlay this afternoon. Let's read it out, and then we'll get the fudge out of here. We got Miami Marlins with the win. Same for the Rays. Astros and Guardians go over 8. Orioles and Royals go over 9. Angels got to get the 4-run team total at home against the Blue Jays, and Seattle gets a nice win. Bet it. What does that say? 2,200? Someone out there that's not a paid sub, put $3.50 on this, and it'll buy you an entire year. Put fucking, I don't know, 50 cents, 35 cents on it, and buy yourself a week. But if a week is really that big of a deal to you, hit me up. I'll get you in for free if you think you're going to make it and sign up. So that'll do it from the big man and everybody here at La Casa Lageza. Appreciate you all. Tyler Mark, I'm sorry I'm late. No apologies. One of my favorite sayings. Save your sorries for bad intentions. Right? If you've caught yourself doing something for the wrong reason, then you apologize, right? That's something to be cleansed. We all fudge up. And with the beauty of technology, you go back. Plus, hey, you drop me a comment, help push that algorithm. I'm sure you press the like button. Everybody also got to give it up for the low amount of views. We are so fucking fierce. We are so fucking fierce. We really, really are. I can't thank you guys.
This is Sparta!
For the low amount of views, we have a crazy high like to view count. Thank you. And for the low amount of views, we have an insane average watch time. Insane average watch time. People would kill for this. And it's been like the driving force for the show. So thanks so much for supporting it. Let people know. Shout it out. Get in the comments. Hit me up. And I'll see you soon, I will fix all the data shit, and I promise I'm going to come back tomorrow, and I'm going to pitch a fucking perfect game. Buy the dip. Buy the dip on the big man. BTD. All right. Enjoy the games. Enjoy the day. When we done with the book, enjoy the pay. And remember, when you work this freaking hard, man, the winning feels a lot less like luck. Yo,